Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Between the Studs. I am your host, Daniel, and we are joined today by
Alex
and Stinky over here.
No, I'm Harrison.
Harrison,
it's
all right.
Harrison.
We got Harrison. So today we are going to be talking about, this is one of our best received series, actually. This is sort of in conjunction with our Rare Parts series. We are talking today about parts that are commonly thrown away in our sorting room downstairs. So this is sort of a subgenre of Rare Parts in that these have actually been put into the, quote, trash bin in our Lego sorting room. They don't get thrown away until somebody double checks them. So typically I or Chris or somebody goes through and we pull out the parts that are in fact actual Lego. Ed has tried many times to just say that he wants to throw that stuff away and that he's looked through it and no, it doesn't need to sit around for somebody else to look through it. And every time I find something worth at least $10, $15, $20 and I make him feel pretty bad about it. So anyway, yes, nothing gets thrown away until it's been thoroughly double checked. But we are going to talk about some of these fun, interesting, rare parts. We're going to talk about what sets they're from, what makes them rare, maybe how much they're valuable, and potentially even what we could use them for in a mock if we have any interesting ideas for that. Yes. So let's see. Let's go ahead and get started here. Alex, do you want to go first with your first part that was thrown away?
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite videos to do altogether, especially ones that were thrown away. Sometimes I can't believe that's Lego.
And they're often the rarest or most interesting parts because they're from those weird themes that people don't remember as well anymore, and things like that.
And I have one of those parts for my first one that's, I can't believe that's Lego.
Yeah.
It is a felt fabric with square hole on it. It's part number 66831.
Okay.
And this version is purple. It only appeared in 2 sets. And when I first saw this, I immediately thought, this cannot be Lego. It looks like something you get at the craft store or something, or you're in elementary school doing crafts. I mean, when you guys saw this part, did you know this was Lego?
I mean, again, I'm biased because I'm the one who pulled all these out of the trash.
Of course.
No, the average person certainly would not. So.
Yeah, so I can understand this one being thrown in the bin.
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly doesn't say Lego anywhere on it. I mean, it's not a molded piece. It's just cut out of felt, so there's no copyright information or the Lego name or anything.
Not on there at all.
I'm surprised they didn't even try and print it on there. I don't know if that's
that is
intellectual property thing that they're required to have the copyright information on all the parts now, or how that works.
And it's from the licensed theme Trolls, so it only came this version
so
in
it's not that
2
old.
sets. Yeah, it's not that old. Came in the Pop Village Celebration and a Rainbow Catter Bus.
Nice.
And I think there's other versions of the felt too, like different parts of it out there too. So this isn't the only one.
Wing-shaped ones maybe, and some bright light orange colors, I think.
Yeah, it's so fascinating.
Yeah. Do you have any idea of what you might use that for in a mock or something like that,
I was
Alex?
hoping to ask you, because I have absolutely no idea.
I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, the one-by-one hole, I guess, just slides over a brick, so it's pretty easy to attach to things. But, I mean, to me, it almost looks like a hand or like a big splat of,
I don't know if you have
grape jelly or something.
If you have an alien world where you have a lot of jungle kinda, you can kind of tuck that in there, give it some more color.
Alien plants. Yeah. Interesting.
Or maybe you could even put it down and then it's like a splat of a liquid on a floor.
Oh, like what I just said. Stinky.
Well, that's just how good the idea is.
Did you just say that? Because I just completely.
Twice, so.
Yeah, you could do it looks like grape jelly or something.
I've seen a lot of recently, especially in the past few years, a lot more mocks that are kitchens or people making food out of Lego. So if you had a kitchen making PB&J, put that thing on the floor.
There you go. That'd be good.
And
that'd be good. Somebody spilled
their
jar
broke or something.
Nice. Good first choice, Alex. Excellent. All right, my first part today, we're going to talk about the Train Light Prism, part number 2919. This is in transparent red. It also appears in trans yellow in a handful of different train sets. And you buy this for about $2 to $5, so it's not crazy expensive. But I can definitely see why this was thrown away, because it's a part that is really like an insert that goes into another part. You don't often kind of see it separated. So this goes in the front or rear sort of train cab for one of those trains. And then the 9-volt electric light system, the ones that were on the 1x2 bricks with the light bulb that sticks out of the side, kind of nestles into this sort of curved area on the back, and that just kind of diverts the light into the two channels.
Yeah,
so that's why they're calling it a light prism. It's very clever, very ingenious the way they sort of engineered that, but it's definitely an unconventional looking piece. especially like I said, because it sort of inserts into another piece and achieves that very kind of specific function. But we are missing these a lot of the times when we need to like inventory or certify sets, train sets and things. I know Corey's come to me a number of times looking for this part, so we'll definitely be sure to hang on to this. But gosh, I don't know. Could we use this in a mock?
Yeah, if you have like a rave or a concert going on, it could be like shoot lasers.
That's true. Yeah, you could use it for the light
That'd be
function.
really cool. Yeah,
I was
think the
thinking
light function would
it
work.
almost looks like a bipod for a like a rifle or something. But the fact that it's only in transparent colors, maybe for like some sort of cyberpunk turret type gun thing. I don't know. Could be interesting. But anyway, that's my first part. Do you guys have any other ideas for things you could use that for, or why it might have been thrown away?
You could do it as signage, maybe in a cyberpunk city.
Yeah, there you go.
For part of the sign.
That's pretty good.
Tuck that on a car somewhere, so as like, you know how some cars have like that lining around them, right, on like the bottom or like the windows or whatnot.
Like a pinstriping or something?
Yeah,
nice.
pinstriping.
Nice. All right, so that is my first part. Harrison, what do you have up for us?
My first one, we have Modok's head from Modok.
Yeah.
This is head.
Yeah.
This is part number 16614PB01, and it's around $3 to $6. This might have probably been thrown away just because of how unique of a part it is, because it's all one piece, and it's a lot of different colors. There's red, there's purple, there's his face printing, there's all the textures in his hair, and then all the like helmet that his head kind of sits in. I don't
is
know
all of that printed on there too? It's
Yeah.
not dual molded at all? Interesting.
Yeah, I don't really know the anatomy of Modok. I don't know if you consider this a helmet or a chair.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I can see why this is thrown away, because it looked like it could just be kind of a head for some other action figure or something. But yeah, that's an interesting
Even the
one.
bottom, like how you'd attach it to its legs, it's not really like the conventional Lego minifigure. How you'd like attach legs or anything.
Right,
to
I
it.
think it's a pin connection. I think that goes on there. Very interesting. Yeah. I can't say I'm surprised really that one was thrown away. I mean, I recognize it as being from the set, but it definitely has sort of a fake Lego kind of look about it for sure. So, interesting choice. All right, Alex, let's go back to you. What do you want to do next?
Yeah, so next we're going into the Duplo realm. And we have a Duplo suitcase.
The Duplo realm, like from Lego Movie 2? The Duplo universe?
Why not? Let's go there. So
I don't think I want to go there.
All right, it's just your host, Alex, in the Duplo realm of this.
Yeah.
Doing this up. Now, this is part number 20302. It actually appeared in a lot of different sets in multiple colors, about 22. And this part in
22 different colors?
Or 22 different sets.
Okay.
Just under 10 colors.
Gotcha. That's still a lot. I'm surprised for that.
Pretty surprising. Yeah, it was a very commonly used part. It goes for only about 50 to 75 cents in orange, like the one we have here. But again, it's just a larger part, and because it's Duplo, I can definitely understand why this might not look Lego, especially from the outside. Sure. So there's no like Lego or Duplo on the outside of it, maybe on the inside, but I didn't see any there either, so I can understand. Yeah,
this looks like it could very easily be an accessory that goes with a Barbie doll or any other larger action figure or doll or character or something. So yeah, I'm not super surprised this one's thrown away. It's also interesting to me that it almost looks like a direct upscale of the Lego briefcase. The proportions are a little different, but it's. I guess a briefcase is a briefcase. Yeah. It's a pretty simple shape. So, yeah, that's awesome. All right, this is an interesting one. I like these a lot. So this is a relatively common part. This is the tire, which is 17.5 millimeter diameter by 6 millimeter width. But this appears in, it's called Milky White, is the color that they listed as being in. It's really, the Milky White is typically used for like some early Technic axles, and there were some more like rubbery plastic kind of train connectors.
I didn't realize that.
This is a little more transparent than that even. I thought maybe this was going to be listed as transparent clear, but on Bricklink it is listed as Milky White. So this is part number 42611. And the purpose for these was really kind of strange. They only appeared in 2 of the basketball sets, the NBA basketball sets with little guys that you kind of flick and they shoot the basketballs at each other.
Yeah.
And I believe it was for the hoop defenders. I think it just goes on their feet as sort of a rubber kind of bouncer stopper, so as they bounce up and down, it doesn't damage
That's
it, or
impressive.
it kind of softens the blow, I
Never would've
guess.
thought.
So I don't know why they thought they needed to be in this milky white color. I guess so they didn't stick out as much. Maybe they kind of thought it was more like it was
Looked like an
invisible,
air whoosh.
versus if they had put like a black tire on it. But it's a really interesting part. I think to get tires in transparent clear, we've covered some of the other rare colors of tires before in rare parts videos. I think we've talked about the infamous white tires that appeared in the SpongeBob bus a number of times,
Yeah.
and now recently they're making tires in. We've got some bright pink ones in that roller skate, and maybe some other new colors for tires. Historically, they've mostly been black. I think there may be a couple different tires that have come in light gray, but I didn't know that these existed for a long time. I had to look this one up. I thought it was maybe like a prototype or something like that. But plain as day, right there on the side, you got copyright the Lego Group.
Right there.
Yeah, very cool. I feel like this has some good mock potential. Do you guys have any ideas of what you could use something like this
Ghost cars. Maybe if you want to expand on your Scooby-Doo kind of like sets.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, ghost cars, ghost vehicle, anything with wheels.
Yeah, along that same line, I was thinking the invisible boatmobile from SpongeBob would be pretty good.
I mean,
Because
if
they've done Wonder Woman's invisible jet. I think you should be able to do an invisible boatmobile.
Yeah.
There's
How about
another
you,
one, the
Alex?
invisible jet. There's your landing gear right there.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. How about you, Alex? Did you have any mock potential ideas for something like that?
I'm just, in signage lane today, you can like use it for letters, numbers,
Mhm, yeah,
things
yeah.
like that on signs and like a.
Maybe
a
even
city.
somebody's eyes. You could figure out a way to do
Yeah.
some eyeballs, spooky looking eyes.
Now these don't glow in the dark or anything, do they?
No,
Okay.
they're just kind of a milky, transparent color.
Yeah, I wonder how they would look with light behind them.
Yeah,
Be
I'm
really
sure that would
interesting.
shine through there for sure. Yeah. I don't remember if I said it already or not, but you can get these for between $2 and $4. So not cheap, but not impossible to get. All right, Harrison, what do you got for your second round part?
For my next one, we're bringing back a crowd favorite, Galador.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
You know it's gonna
if we
be
don't get at
good.
least one appearance from like Galador, Belleville, and Scala in every one of these rare parts videos, then what are we even doing?
Yeah. Okay, so we got a Galador shield in light gray coloring.
Okay.
It is part
Awesome.
number 42670. And we actually could not find a price for this on Bricklink. We could not find a light gray Galador shield, but
Oh,
the
that's
other
pretty
colors go from 3 to 6, so it could be around that. It could be even more.
I think, what was it, black and dark
Yeah, it was.
gray?
Yeah,
What
it was
the
like
other
black and
colors?
dark gray.
Yeah.
This was in not this color, but this piece was used for a couple different Galador builds. It was one of the action figures. I forget his name, but it was like a
Nepal, the blue guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a.
Nice.
If you play sports, it was like a cup. It kind of just went in between his legs.
Yeah, I don't really know why they
It
called
was
it
a
a
little
shield.
weird.
It's really more of an armor piece based on what we could tell, at least.
And then
from
there was
it.
another one of a guy like riding a horse, and then this was like in the same
Yeah.
spot, but like it was like stop him from like rubbing against the horse.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a rubbery plastic ish.
Yeah.
It's not your typical Lego hard like
the ABS
Yeah.
plastic. Yeah, it's that softer
it's
rubber.
it's
for
a
sure.
lot it's very soft rubbery, so I can see why. And also it doesn't say Lego on here anywhere.
Really interesting.
No, I did not see it saying
Yeah, wow.
Lego anywhere.
Yeah, it's got that
No.
telltale kind of axle and,
Always makes
and
it
pin
pretty-
Yeah.
connector that those Galador parts would have. So they don't have great clutch power for using for other things, but you could still potentially use this in a mod.
Yeah, I mean you could probably put that on some spaceships. You
Yeah.
could probably use it as like a if you built like a turret and then you put this on top of it as
Mhm.
like, and then they could like sink down into a tank or whatever and come up
That'd
and
be really cool.
I'm picturing like a big panel on like a 5G cell tower
Oh,
or something,
yeah.
beaming some rays or shield rays or something out. So yeah, interesting. Did you have any ideas for that one, Alex?
That'd be
Something you
really
could use
cool.
that Galador
Maybe
part for?
on. Maybe if you made like a dragon, needed armor for it.
oh
Okay.
yeah.
More of a creature build.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
down
it's
like where its neck comes into the body, like front
Yeah.
chest
Yeah,
area.
exactly.
sure.
Something
You could
like
even
that.
use the actual connection that it's made for and use some Galador pieces for something like that.
Yeah,
Galador
y'all can
creature
keep
builds are great.
yeah, keep building your Galador mocks, guys.
Yeah. Excellent choice. I'll actually add one more little fun tangent about that one. So I said normally I stop Ed from throwing things away. There was one day where Ed actually did dump one of the boxes into the dumpster
no.
without me going through it, and I went out there to throw
no.
something else away, some cardboard boxes, and I'm looking in this pile of stuff in the dumpster, and that was sitting right out on top. So I actually plucked that one right off the top of the pile and was able to save it. No, it's okay. There wasn't any gross stuff in there. It was right on top. So that one was truly saved from the brink of being thrown away. All right, let's go back to Alex then. Alex, what do you have for us for our third round?
So we've talked about Galador, and next up is Bionicle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Bionicle Thornaxe. So this was with the Glatorian and Glatorian Legends.
Okay.
They could actually shoot it out of a shooter.
That's cool.
It usually goes for about $350 used, $450 new. So this is a really cool part. I remember getting these Bionicle, and it kind of had a game where you had so many number of hit points that you had, and you could fire these at each other.
That's
a lot of fun. But I don't think it says Lego anywhere on there.
Interesting. Even on the black,
especially with
sort
the
of
different
band.
texture.
Can you pull those golden pieces off?
It's
Is it
all
an
one
inside?
part, so I'm
Oh.
sure you could, but I don't think it was meant to be.
Right,
Gotcha.
right.
But I'll pass it around. It's a really
that's great. They're fun to
cool
bounce
part.
too.
Yeah, you can see why.
Yeah, set that on your
it's a good
teacher's
amount.
chair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got that kind of interesting, darker pearl gold where it's kind of more marbled too. So, yeah, this easily looks like it could be from some other type of toy.
Yeah, this
or
looks
non-Lego
this
product.
looks a lot like the Mega Bloks gold. Whenever
Yeah.
they have their gold, it's
Yep.
a lot of darker. It has a lot of the dark accents in their
For
gold,
sure.
and it's kind of spotted. It's not
less
really
uniform.
Yeah, it's not like a clear. It's not like a good coat of gold. It's like there's some other bronze and stuff in there as well.
Yeah.
So I could see this very easily. Also, it's just kind of weird. It's not like anything I've ever seen in
Yeah.
Lego.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you know
Understand.
Bionicle really well.
For sure. Excellent choice, Alex. Thank you for that. All right, for my next one, I am going to talk about, this is the grappling hook, the larger size grappling hook, part number 62695. This is in Pearl Light Gray. This only appeared in 2 sets. I had one of them as a kid, which is why I immediately recognized this when I saw it in the trash. One of them was the Agents, one of the underwater ones with the boat. It was either the boat or the submarine. I think it was the submarine one with the glow-in-the-dark octopus. Unless it was the boat one with the sharks with freaking laser beams. But it was one of those 2 for sure. I can't quite remember.
I can't really go wrong.
Yeah, but this is the other thing that it was in was a World Racers set, so probably less common, less popular. But this is worth $1 or less, so it's not really that expensive. It's just not a part you see very often. I was actually looking for one of these at one point, and I had a hard time finding one because we've got tons of the other standard grappling hooks, but you just don't see this one as often. So, a pretty interesting rare piece. I can definitely again see why this is thrown away. I think it was on the last one of these videos that we did. A lot of the pieces were pearl light gray, and I think it's because it's a color that Lego doesn't produce as much anymore. It just kind of has more of a fake feel about it. It looks a little.
It looks like
milky.
a cheaper color.
It looks like a cheaper
looks
plastic. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we see a lot of those pearl light gray. Some of those smaller Bionicle accessories and things. We get a lot of those in the trash bin that we save. So yeah, I can definitely see why this one was thrown away. I don't really know that there's much other mock potential for this beyond a grappling hook, but it's a great looking grappling hook. It's a really fantastic molded part.
Build a giant Batman, and he has his grappling hook.
For sure, yeah, totally. I'm really surprised they didn't use this piece for more things during that time period, but that was Lego in the early 2000s. That's what they did. So, all right, Harrison, let's move on to you.
Yeah, what do you have next for us?
This one, kind of interesting as in here. It's the top of the Riddler staff. It's the
Mhm.
little green question mark that's up there.
Yeah.
And it is part number 27146, and it's $3 to $6. It's funny, almost all the pieces I have here is $3 to $6.
That's pretty crazy.
It does have a weird green to it. It's not like the regular Lego light green or darker green or even normal.
Yeah, it's the bright.
It's
the bright green.
It is brighter, but something about it when I don't know. It's not a green that Lego uses too often. I feel that I see too often, and also it's just a question mark. If a Riddler doesn't instantly really pop to your mind, you're not really gonna think. You're gonna be like, oh, what is this?
Right.
Maybe some kind of weird plant or whatever. But yeah, is there? How would y'all use this in a mock? Or...
It's a very unusual shape for sure. I mean, it's not a standard stud connection or anything on the bottom. It goes onto a bar, but sort of the way that it looks on the bottom is kind of unconventional. So I can definitely see why this was thrown away. But yeah, as far as mock potential, I'm a big fan of the Arkham video games, and
who isn't?
One of the biggest things in that was collecting the Riddler trophies. So I could see just getting a bunch of these and like hiding them in another Batman mock as like little Easter eggs for people to find. I think I've seen a few people do that. Like lots of Star Wars builders will hide mini kits in their mocks. So if you had built like a huge Batman mock or something, I could see buying like 10 or so of these, just kind of hiding them around for people to find. But yeah, really great part. I'm surprised it's as expensive as it is.
Yeah, I could definitely see this being used as like hooks on buildings or for decoration on a building in a city, for plants or just for the outside of a building.
Sure. A little green vine.
If you wanted to make like a small lizard build, it could be like a lizard tail or something, but yeah, or even like a giant coat hanger. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Awesome part.
Excellent. Good choice, Harrison. Good find.
Thank you. I know.
All right, let's go back to you, Alex.
All right, so we have a part I was kind of surprised to be thrown away. It's the Mini Technic Linear Actuator.
This one made me mad. But
another long part number, so get ready. It's 92693 C01, and it's a really cool part to use in builds. It goes from $2 to $3, usually used to new, and I was just surprised because I'm pretty sure that it says Lego on there, it has a part number as well. I'd definitely like to get your thoughts on it, why you think this was in the bin.
Yeah, that is definitely kind of surprising. Best I can figure is it's not a Technic part you can see very often. Sometimes these Technic parts, even this light bluish gray piece, just has a little bit of a milky or plastic kind of quality to it. Maybe it was thrown away because it was slightly damaged on the top, but I would imagine these pieces are not very cheap, so even something like that we could sell in used condition. But I don't know. Yeah, this one is one of the more surprising ones to me. But I always give our sorters the benefit of the doubt. They're moving pretty quickly and sorting things and just kind of pitching things in bins. So that's why we always double check stuff, so we can catch stuff like that. But yeah, pretty surprising nonetheless. All right, pass that one back.
Awesome.
How much do those go for? Did you tell us?
Yeah,
what they
it's
were
about $2 used. $3 new.
Okay, so not as expensive as some of the larger like linear actuators.
Definitely not the most popular kind.
Can be pretty pricey. Yeah, for sure. Excellent choice. All right, let's see what I want to do next. I'm going to do probably one of the smallest parts on the table here. I had an even smaller one, but I didn't go with that. This is the Minifig Plume Mohawk, part number 67585. So this is not the standard minifigure Mohawk, but this is the one that has a very small pin connection that can go into those sort of pinholes on the tops of lots of headgears and hair pieces. This appears in bright light yellow, and this was made for the Captain Marvel minifigures. So the Captain Marvel that has her sort of mohawk coming out of the top of her helmet. This is worth only about $1 or so or less, but a lot of the actual Lego pieces that we see get thrown away are very small pieces, either because they blend in with other things, they get stuck to other things, they don't have Lego printed on them, they don't have studs anywhere that are kind of those telltale signs to look for. So we're getting a lot of smaller and smaller real Lego pieces that are thrown away. So this one is not very surprising to me. I mean, if you look at this from the wrong angle, it's hard to even tell what it is. It just looks like it could just be a piece of junk. It doesn't even necessarily look like it's part of another toy. But it could look like it's also part of a Barbie doll or a Polly Pocket even or something like that. So, again, not super surprised that this one is thrown away. Not particularly rare or expensive as it's from a relatively recent minifigure, but good for us to pull out nonetheless, as those are the types of things that often go missing from those minifigures. So we're able to replace them and be able to sell those minifigs. All right, Harrison, what do you got for us next?
Next here, I got this Zalax Racer, Lightor, or Sub-Zero.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah. Part number 30598PB04.
Okay.
That's quite a one. And it goes from like less than $1 to $1. He's not very expensive at all. I don't think these guys, any of them, are really that sought
There
after.
is-
Oh,
Maybe
hold your
maybe
tongue.
one or two, but
There's
I
a
don't know.
glow-in-the-dark one that's
Mhm.
worth
Oh,
what?
you're right.
Like
the glow in the dark.
over
one.
$100,
Yeah.
over $100 for
To
that.
have a complete
That's
collection is
that same
over
piece.
200.
You do?
Oh no, I don't. But
Oh,
if it's
okay.
a complete collection of all the cards, it's like over $200.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Easily.
There was a guy at Brick Fair, Virginia this year selling a sealed copy of the set that comes with the glow-in-the-dark guy.
How much?
He had that at $200,
Oh.
and I think that was a pretty good price because you
Wow.
don't see
Yeah.
sealed ones very often.
Wow.
You'll see used ones or just the glow-in-the-dark figure come up every now and then. But
I think that only reaffirms that this guy's not very sought after.
the rest of them are pretty worthless. Yes.
If it's not the glow in the dark, they don't really. Nobody really cares.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see why they threw this one away. They're these Zalax racers. They're definitely not like any other molds that Legos had before, and they all have their own custom printing, and it's kind of weird. They don't look like they'd easily like fit onto just like a 2x2 or any
Right.
Lego.
It's not the standard kind of anti-studs on the bottom.
Because they slip onto the top of the cars,
Right.
So that they can fall off. But
Exactly.
and it's very easy to look at it and be like, oh, that's just nothing like Legos ever made, and then just kind of chuck it.
For sure. So when y'all are down in the sorting room and you're looking at something to see if it's fake, I'm guessing if you don't immediately know whether it is or is not Lego, you're looking for a lot of those
Mhm.
telltale signs like stud
You're
connections
stud
to see if it
connections.
says Lego anywhere.
You're looking for it to say Lego maybe on the inside on like one of these ridges from the mold on the outside.
Right.
You're looking for, even if you just know what it is, if you've seen something like it before,
Right.
just in another color.
So when you can't rely on those other kind of telltale signs, it really just comes down to institutional knowledge. And
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say
you have to know.
Zalax is not part of the mainstream Lego themes. I would say it's not in the top 10 or even maybe top 30 Lego themes. So I can't really blame you all downstairs for not knowing about Zalax racers necessarily. So that stuff happens, but stuff slips through. But we always make sure we pull it back out. All right, let's hop on over to you, Alex.
That was a fantastic pick, Harrison. Brings back a lot of
Oh, yeah.
nostalgia for me.
Did you have Zalax when you were younger?
I did. I remember
Did
seeing
you?
them in
Okay.
the store. I had one or two. It was always a lot of fun.
We talked about Zalax more in depth recently on a Between the Studs that we did, talking about gimmicks and play features.
Oh, I missed it.
So we were talking about sort of the slammer
Have to have a whole
cars and
episode
things.
on it,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can go back and check that one
Who's
out.
y'all's favorite
Yeah.
Zalax racer? Who's the top one? Who's the top?
The only one I had when I was a kid was the blue one. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know
I
the
couldn't
names,
tell you
but
what
they
his
were just a
name
lot of
was.
fun.
Yeah, for any amount of money. I'd have to look that one up, but I didn't even have that much nostalgia for it. I didn't think they were a great toy. I think they're kind of a fun collectible now, but I didn't think
Yeah.
it was a good toy.
They're kind of I don't know, on par with like a McDonald's toy.
Basically,
Yeah, it has that
they're
kind of
they're fun for
vibe
about the
feel.
same amount of time. Now, did you enjoy playing with them when you were a kid, or do you just mostly have
I
nostalgia?
did, which
Okay.
doesn't sound like it was the cool thing back then, but
It just, I don't know, it didn't do it for me. The whole slammer thing with the car, I don't know. Maybe
So-
you had to have multiple of
okay.
them, or like you and your friends to battle. I
Well,
don't know.
yeah.
What are you saying, huh?
Well, you know,
that's
that's an
usually
older
what you do
part.
is you have at least two, and then they just kind of, as a kid, I mean, with most things. you
I
just
only
grab
had
them and
one.
go like that.
All I could do was smash it against the wall, and he would eject. So.
Why send us on a
Should've
rabbit
gotten a
trail?
job.
I know. I should have gotten
Should've got a
I should
newer
have gotten my
part to
friends. I
talk
should have
about.
talked my friends into getting Zalax so we could battle each other.
So this is a newer part, but surprisingly, I think it looks a bit like you might not think Lego immediately when you look at this. And this is the
Yeah.
wheel cover 10-spoke. I also have one that has the Chevrolet Camaro
Oh,
print
nice.
on it as well. Same part, just with the print.
Mhm.
This is part number 49098. And it's a very cheap part because it's been very recent. It's on current Speed Champion sets.
Okay.
30 to 50 cents. And I don't know, what do you guys think of this when you see it? Do you think Lego immediately?
Definitely not.
Same. I came to that same conclusion. It just looks too good, too realistic.
Yeah.
Lego has come so far, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even for Lego, this looks to me too good.
Yeah.
To be true. Very realistic.
I would kind of put this in the same vein as the train light prism that I was talking about, because it's using non-standard connections because it's basically a part that's an accessory to another part. These are only meant to interface with the inner hubs of those wheels to add a little bit of extra texture, or that kind of hubcap look on the outside. So it's a part that's made specifically to interact only with another part. So it's a little bit kind of restrictive in that way, and it means it doesn't conform to a lot of the kind of standard design principles of Lego. Same thing, it doesn't really have any attachment. Well, this looks like it does. Yeah. It does have one anti-stud connection here on the inside on the bottom, which is pretty nice. But I would imagine that outer diameter can only fit inside those wheels.
It does say Lego, so you could take a look at it.
Okay.
Which is the nice thing, but just from afar, it's just that kind of part that's like, I don't know if this is Lego.
Oh, and especially the unprinted one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like a piece of plastic that could be a part of,
the other one too?
Packaging for something, or
for
just
me
a piece
it's the
of
other
trash.
way around. I saw the regular one that's unprinted, but I just looked on the inside of it, and I'm like, oh, that's like a train wheel.
Okay.
That's what I thought of.
Interesting. Yeah.
But the printed one I had to look at first, because I'm like, Camaro, Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a lot of people who have done buildable cars, and there's just a lot of even just models. You can go to the Hobby Lobby and get that would have hubcaps. I also thought of like NASCAR, so I'm like, Lego didn't do NASCARs, so I don't or technically they did the big Technic one, but
this actually comes from a NASCAR Next Gen, Chevrolet, Camaro. And it goes on.
Oh, so it was a NASCAR set. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know they had done that.
It was really interesting.
I think the other thing that can throw them off, so it is the harder ABS plastic, but it's that more kind of textured matte finish as opposed to the high gloss. So again, it just kind of contributes to it just looking like, a piece of plastic that could have been from anything, just a piece of trash. So yeah, not super surprised about that one, but glad we saved it.
Yeah. Also, those, because of how thin they are, you could very easily pick it up while also picking up something else and throwing it in.
For sure. All right, for my second to last part, I didn't really write down part numbers for this one because they don't really have them. I also didn't write down prices because nobody is selling them. These are the beads from the Lego pen system. So these ones were here in the trash. We have a couple examples that were black, as well as this. I can't tell if it's just discolored or if this is like trans yellow and some sort of like trans medium green or something. But I did bring a couple examples here of the pens that they would appear in. So basically the Lego pen system had this, it was like a metal rod that went through it that attached to the sort of like clip on top. And then down in the bottom housed all of the actual like ink and mechanics for the pen. So you could unscrew the threaded metal rod through the center and change out these beads and swap them around. So similar to like the Lego watch system for gear, it was all about encouraging you to, customize it and swap the pieces around, and they were all interchangeable between the pens and things.
They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
They
so it was
apart too easy.
Yes, yeah. It was pretty gimmicky in that sense. And then the pens, they run out of ink, and whoever buys refill ink for pens. So.
I've never had a pen run out of ink. I always lose it or break it before I run out of ink.
That's fair too. But yeah, so these ones that were actually found in the trash are pretty plain. They don't really have any printed designs or anything on them.
Like
so
they do look a little discolored.
These just look like fake beads that could have been from anything. But the pen system did include some really cool parts. So this Adventures one has some really fun prints.
That's amazing.
That have like some minifig heads and palm trees. This Arctic one has some fun prints as well. So I love to use these beads for different things. It doesn't have great clutch power, but this is basically a stud and anti-stud connection on the bottom. So you can integrate these into mocks and builds similar to how you would integrate like click-it speeds and things like that. It can be done.
What have you seen it used for? What would you use it for?
So I do have one of these white ones with the palm trees on it that's in this Adventurers pen. I'm thinking about buying this Adventurers pen pretty much just so I can get a second one. Nice. Because these were likely made by another company. The plastic is a little bit thinner and cheaper. It's not really that standard high quality plastic. But what is cool is you can put a light inside these, and it has kind of a really nice glow to it. It looks like a nice kind of like lamp or something. So this white one with this palm trees, when you put a light in it, almost looks like one of those old like ceramic lamps from like the early 1900s or late 1800s or something like that. But it has a really nice effect. So these beads are fun. If you can incorporate them into mocks, they can have a really cool effect. And anybody will look at it and be like, oh, what's that from? And you can be like, it's from the Lego pens.
Action.
So, yeah, pretty fun part. If you ever run into these or see them anywhere, I would encourage picking them up if you're a mock builder that's always looking for quirky, unusual parts to incorporate into mocks.
Nice choice.
So, yeah. It's a little bit kind of on that fence of like, is it Lego or is it not? Because like I said, these parts were probably not made by Lego, but it was a Lego product. So a little bit of an unconventional one there. All right, Harrison, what do you have for your second to last part today?
My second to last part is this Insectoid bubble helmet in trans green. Though this one's a little weird. It has some marker on the front, a little bit on the back. Mm-hmm. This is part number 30214. It goes from like 50 cents to $1.50. It's not that expensive.
Nice.
But this one I feel in particular might have gotten thrown away just because of the Sharpie on it. They're like,
that's what I would guess. Yeah.
Even if they do know what it is, and also it's kind of a little bit of a strange helmet.
Mm-hmm. Definitely,
it's very unique,
shape.
Unconventional, very alien. So you also doesn't appear to say Lego, at least on the inside where it usually would.
Yeah, a lot of those older parts didn't. They would typically just have a mold number or something on the inside.
Yeah, it just says 8 on the inside.
Yeah. Pretty interesting. But yeah, I would guess it's possible this got just thrown away because of the Sharpie markings on it. But we can remove those. There's a number of tricks that you can do to attempt to clean that back off of there. So this is not a particularly expensive part, so it may or may not be worth saving at this point. But yeah, I figured I'd pull it out there anyway, and it works pretty well for this video too. Pretty nice, unconventional part you don't see every day. All right, I think we are ready for our final round. Hopefully some of us saved the best for last. So let's go ahead and start with you, Alex. What did you save for your final piece today?
And the best for last, of course, is Bionicle. We have a Bionicle Krana mask. Now this
one I was also pretty upset when I found it in the bin.
Yeah, this is tough to see because it's pearl sand blue in this case. It came in a variety of colors.
Cool color.
But this, the shinier colors came with the Bulwark call, and the number for this one. This is the bow mask, so it has it in the part number 42042 B0 or BO for bow, and each of these have a different power to it. So this is like for the Centennial Bulwark. It is infrared, so they can see in the dark when they have this one.
Okay.
So it's good for those Bulwark that are underground.
Nice.
And I guess in this case for the Bulwark call, it came in a certain one. It was a Gallic call. And so, again, super cool part, really cool color. It's only about $4 to $5 used. I didn't see any new ones on Bricklink, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Makes sense because it very easily get used.
Right.
This one's in pretty good shape.
That softer, rubbery plastic.
Yeah, exactly. But such a cool part. I was devastated to see in the bin.
We saved it. We
did save it though. So Bionicle fans rejoice. It's been saved.
This is another one of those institutional knowledge things. So I think that would be my only reason for any disappointment.
Yeah,
in
not
the sorters.
Everybody has watched the 12-hour lore video.
Exactly. Go do your homework.
Mandatory.
Yeah, I think all the sorters gotta go watch the lore video. It's definitely institutional knowledge one because this is a very unconventional color, like you mentioned, that pearl.
That's true.
Pearl sand blue.
Yeah, what
That's
a cool
crazy.
color name.
As well as being that rubbery plastic. It's a very strange kind of looking mask or face shape.
Also, Bionicle being not like Lego, it's very mechanical, not akin to any other Lego series, really.
Yeah. To be fair, most of our sorters probably were born after Bionicle came to an end anyway.
That wasn't me.
Yeah, we'll cut them. We'll cut them a little slack. We'll be nice. We'll cut them a little slack.
I did watch Bionicle in the hospital. That was like one of the 2 movies that they had while I was
very
there.
Proud of you.
I watched the Bionicle movie like 4 times.
There you go. All right. My last part here. So when I'm pulling these bins out, when I'm pulling stuff out of the trash bin, I sit down there in the sorting room and I go through them, and I have a couple piles. I have things that I know are Lego, that like we want to talk about on the video because they're interesting. There's some that I just chuck back in the bin because they probably just got stuck to something or they're very obviously Lego. Yeah. And then I have ones that I have to do a little bit more research on. I have ones that I have to look up. Sometimes I try doing Google Lens. Sometimes I try and have to figure out what color it is or what size it is. And so a lot of the things that I pull out that I'm not sure about are cloth pieces. And it's pretty hard to find. Again, I have to either search, the color or maybe the approximate size or shape or something like that. So this one is just a pretty standard rectangular piece of fabric. But this is the Belleville cloth towel 6x14, part number 71191 in dark pink. So while I do pull a lot of the cloth pieces out of there for further research, most of them do end up being actual trash. They're not real cloth pieces, or at least I can't find them on Bricklink. So I looked this one up, I pulled it up on Bricklink, and I searched, I think I just searched dark pink cloth because I was pretty confident that was the color. And I think the top result was this part, Belleville cloth 6x14. Wow. And so I had to grab something nearby with studs to try and measure if this was actually 6x14, and sure enough, it was dead on. So I'm pretty confident this is that part. Not one of the most expensive parts, but again, about $2 to $5. So, relatively rare. Pretty hard to find in the U.S. as well. A lot of these Belleville parts you see from like German Bricklink sellers and other European Bricklink sellers. So,
was it just more popular over there, or just?
I think so. Yeah, they probably sold more of them over there. A lot of the early Belleville sets, some of those waves were entirely based on Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales. So I think they were more kind of Danish and European focused. Yes, so this was from 1996 and 1997, appeared in 3 sets in dark pink and then 1 set in white. So the white would actually be the rarer version, but I am glad we were able to save this. I always love to see fabric pieces. Mock builders always love to get their hands on fabric pieces, but only if you're sure that they're real Lego. So pretty confident that this one is that Belleville cloth towel. So a pretty nice piece. Definitely glad we saved it. Definitely not surprised that it was thrown away, but this is the stuff that I love to find when I go down there to sort through that stuff. So I don't know. Do you guys have any mock ideas for what you could use this for? It's a pretty plain rectangle.
I don't know, like a carpet that you're walking down.
Sure.
Yeah, that could work. I know Star Wars, like Mos Eisley, kind of the more like spaceports and stuff, and you can have this as a just over
sort of like an awning or like a canvas.
Yeah, exactly.
I think pink might stand out a little bit in Mos Eisley.
Yeah. Well, that's how you get recognized. That's good for business.
Yeah. Maybe this is like a Ninjago situation. Somebody washed the red canopies with the white canopies, and they stained it pink.
There you go, Ninjago mocks. You could probably fit that in a Ninjago City mock or something like that.
I see a lot of people who just take cloth pieces and they'll like roll them up and put a rubber band around it or something, and then you can stick it in a truck or a dumpster or something. It just looks like clever junk and things, and people look at it and they say, "Oh, what is that?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, that's a real Lego piece." So always love to see cloth pieces. So I'm glad I was able to find that one. All right, Harrison, what did you save for last for us?
I have another Bionicle part. Rejoice. This is part number 47313, a trans blue brainstem of Toa Metru.
Ooh, okay.
That was cool.
And this piece ranges from $5 to $20. I think this is the most expensive piece that we've mentioned.
Probably in that new condition. If it gets up to $20, I don't think any one of us had anything that was approaching that kind of value today.
Yeah. So good find. Glad it didn't get officially thrown away.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Usually, at least for me, we don't see too many Bionicle pieces getting thrown away every now and then. But like this one is a pretty, like the brainstem, it's pretty, like, I feel like this is quite obvious that it's Bionicle.
Yeah,
by looking at it,
a couple of the
it's got
like
some of the piston molds here, and even like the line here in the middle of these two pieces. Mm-hmm. It looks very Bionicle to me.
Yeah.
We really have to make it mandatory for the sorters to watch some more video.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what
it says Lego right there. It's
that's
not,
what it
if you take 2 seconds to look at it, you see Lego is right there. It's in between the connections here in this bottom.
This is outrageous. We cannot have
I
know.
Too many Bionicle.
The best I can figure, I'll play devil's advocate here. The best I can figure is a lot of times when you see transparent pieces, if you're just looking, it's gone. If you're just
No.
if you're looking at them from the wrong angle and you don't see those standard connection pieces, it's real easy to pluck out a bulk and just, in your head you think it's trash. So,
yeah, sometimes
like I
you're
said,
down there and you kind of like shut your brain off to help time move faster, and you're just doing movements. But I don't know.
All right, Harrison, I'll remember that for your
No,
review.
That's why.
Employee
That's,
review.
no, that's why it's a joke that we always get spooked. Is because you get into your own rhythm, you get involved in your own little world, and then somebody walks in, and you're like,
That's true. Our
person.
sorters are the easiest to sneak up on. It's real easy to sneak up on them in that room.
Also,
and
when you
scare
have
the
like the
pants off
washing machine running and that fan is always going, so there's a lot of background noise, and you don't hear people walking up on you.
Yeah.
You're in your own world. Oh,
in the
hi.
zone.
Yeah.
In the zone.
Yeah,
But yeah,
really focus.
I can see how this one would get thrown away, but I'm definitely glad we saved it given that slightly higher price point. So, all right. Well, thank you all for picking
thank
out
you.
some of these parts to talk about. I appreciate y'all for joining us as well. I hope you all
Thanks,
enjoyed this video. I know it's one of our more popular series, so if you enjoy this, let us know down in the comments, and we'll be sure to keep doing these series in the future. We'll likely do maybe another standard rare parts video next. I think we've done 2 of these thrown away parts in a row now, but we definitely appreciate y'all joining us. I appreciate you, Harrison and Alex,
Yo.
for joining me today,
Yeah,
for talking
happy
about
to
these
join.
fun parts that were thrown away, and we're definitely glad that they saved. And I will likely send these with you, Alex, to get listed online at some point.
Yeah, we'll get them
So if you
online.
saw anything here that you're looking for or interested in buying, feel free to send us a message or something. If you can't find it on our website, we'll be happy to hook you up and get you helped out. So thank you all for joining us for this episode of Between the Studs. Please leave a like down below, drop a comment if you feel so inclined, and subscribe to Atlanta Brick Co. TV. Thank you all for joining us. See you later.
And
What?
make sure
I was
that
literally
you give your
just about
money-
to sign off.
Make sure that when tank battles happen, spend all your money on
Tank
gun
battle's
craft.
going to be over by the time this airs, Harrison. Get out of here. Thank you all for joining us for Between the Studs. Take it easy. Take care, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.